that is the biggest problem that we had. Communication it was awful. I don't know, but make a long story short, the kids ended up loading the van the wrong way. And his response, he took a step back because he was frustrated. And his response was to us, you have to turn it at a 90-degree. You have to do something. It was just way over our heads. It was just something that was just not okay. And I looked at him, and he had a serious face. The kids was like, what is he talking about? And he just saw this vision, and it was like, hon, you got to break it down. You have to tell the boys X, Y, and Z. And he's just thinking, don't they know that? Why? How come they don't know how to do this? How come they don't know how to do that?
Well, hello, Radiant Fire Radio. I am so excited to have a very special guest. The author, the creator of Daughters of the King, my lovely wife, Kathryn. Hey, how are you today?
I am great. How are
you? I got
you?
you up early on this rainy
I have
day.
one eye open, okay?
But that's okay. We're going to be talking about the advice, and I was talking about this in yesterday's show. My wife has excellent reads on the kids because she has a special intuitive nature because she's been with them from day one, and I haven't, and she kind of knows their moods and their personalities, and sometimes she's like, I wouldn't do that. So yesterday I was talking about how it's important that you lean upon your spouse. You lean upon the biological parent's information because it will keep you from making some crucial mistakes. Hon, just drop your knowledge into the people about parenting and what you've learned. Because you know, when we first got married, you told me you made a lot of mistakes with the kids. And you wanted to make sure that you didn't ever do those mistakes again. But you also had a concern of, am I going to hurt your children? Talk about that for a few minutes.
That was a big concern, okay? Because
I think this relates to other biological parents who are bringing a unknown into their familiar situation. This person says they're going to do right, but you really don't know until you see them in action.
Okay, so here's one thing, parents, for fathers, here's one thing that I would not recommend. It is not.
Just say it.
I'm trying to think of the word.
Don't be nice.
It is not giving the family an honor for you to say these types of phrases. I am here to support your mom, and not include your family. Meaning, we had a conversation. I remember we were in
really deep.
We were in the office. Yeah, we were in the office, and you thought that you were saying the right things. It was you, me, and the kids, and you were like, I'm here to support your mom first. And, later on it hit me, Dad, the kids must have felt left out. Like, how is it that they don't get the support that they need? They need help just as much as I do. But, you were standing there as if you were strong.
I was proud, y'all. Cause
yeah.
I really felt like I'm doing this right. And I'm coming in here and everybody's going to feel my love and feel my understanding. Nope. Didn't happen.
Straight from the door, he cut the kids out. Straight from the door. And let them know, your mom comes first. Period. Everybody else. And that was another issue too, y'all, because my husband, who loves me very much, he put me in the wrong place, to be honest. He looked at me as, I'm not going to say an idol, but he looked at me as I should be propped up, placed up somewhere higher than what I should have been. And for a long time, I was telling him, come down, bring me down, please. All of his past words had something to do with me. He had me on the screensavers, some stuff that should not have been at work, like basically just screen saved,
I love my wife. What's wrong with that?
Nothing's wrong with it, but you can't. It can't be my wife and then the kids, so to speak, because we are a family. We come together as a package.
Yeah, and I had to learn this. This was I was in a previous marriage, and I was excited about my wife and my new family, and I really wanted to correct mistakes I had made in my previous marriage, and I was intent, gung ho. I'm just gonna go out here and this is gonna be love, and she's gonna know. She's gonna feel it. Feel it.
We felt it. We felt it. And I understood your heart. I understood your purpose. But sometimes you had to learn how to separate and bring together.
Yeah. And I think that's important. Being a step parent, you're overly sensitive, and you're overly trying to again, take care of the needs of your spouse. My viewpoint on it was, because I'm taking care of her, by default, the kids are going to come in as well. The support for the kids is going to come in as well. They're going to see my support for her, and they're going to feel safe and secure. But it has to be communicated in a different way.
That is the biggest problem that we had. Communication it was awful, and at many times. I mean, sometimes we had, an understanding, but a lot of times the way that Christopher would deliver a message to the children, it was way over their heads, and they're left like, what?
You see, this is where you have to be self-aware. You have to be, I talk about this a lot, being self-aware about how you talk, how you communicate, self-aware about what's going on around about you. And sometimes I would deliver a message thinking everybody got it and was happy and satisfied.
No.
And left on a high.
No. Let me share something with you if I can. Because this is one thing that was hilarious, but it wasn't, because we moved a couple of times since we've been married. We moved at least twice. Mm-hmm. And when my husband gets in the zone, he sees a vision that only he sees. And he assumes that everybody knows his vision.
It's a glorious vision.
No. You're in it by yourself. So what happened is, me and my children were trying to help him load our van. Okay? He is a no-nonsense type of person. He's short of patience at times. At times. And he ended up getting frustrated because my children, who were boys at this time, I'm talking about the boys, children didn't...
They were younger, 4 or 5. Chris was what, 14, 15?
No, well, I'm talking about not too long ago.
No.
When we had to help Chris move. I don't know, but make a long story short, the kids ended up loading the van the wrong way. And his response, he took a step back because he was frustrated. And his response was to us, you have to turn it at a 90-degree. You have to do something. It was just way over our heads. It was just something that was just not okay. And I looked at him, and he had a serious face. The kids was like, what is he talking about? And he just saw this vision, and it was like, hon, you got to break it down. You have to tell the boys X, Y, and Z. And he's just thinking, don't they know that? How come they don't know how to do this? How come they don't know how to do that?
And see, this is where I made a lot of errors as a step parent, because there's certain things that when I grew up, I was taught along the way how to do certain things, and my children didn't get that. And sometimes I go because I'm already assuming, and I do this to my wife sometimes too, I'm already assuming she understands what I'm thinking, what I'm talking about, and I get frustrated because it's like, how come y'all ain't keeping up? This is simple. You should know this. And they have no idea what I'm talking about. They have no idea, what the goal is, what the aim is. So I've had to learn how to slow down, try to ask questions, try to keep my demon inside of me.
Stop. That demon needs to go. That demon needed to go. Okay?
And keep it from manifesting.
It was causing so much conflict.
Just really ask a question and try to be more explanatory. I think in the long run, I've gotten better, right?
You have. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I've gotten better at explaining, gotten better at, trying to have patience and understand. And here's the thing, you have to, as a step parent, you cannot project yourself like you are so smart and so wise that everybody else is dumb.
Oh my gosh.
I think at times I did that.
You did.
It wasn't intentional, but it came off that way. And you don't want to you want to be self-aware about how you're projecting that, because that can really cause a lot of hurt. And I know I caused a lot of hurt. I've had to apologize many, many times for, the attitude and the betrayal of you're dumb. I didn't say they were dumb, but my attitude put it out there like they were. And that's wrong. That's completely wrong. If you're doing that kind of stuff, you're going to separate your family and you're going to be all by yourself because they will leave you.
That's true. The doors will be shut. The kids go right in their room like, I don't have time. I don't have time to deal with Christopher today. Like, he's tripping. And I can tell y'all, and this is for the moms, this is for the wives. A lot of times you will feel like you're in the middle of just a disaster because your children are trusting you to stand up for them. And your husband not knowing how they really, not really understanding what's going on. He's looking at you like you're supposed to stand up for me. So you are in the middle of a gunfight, so to speak, and you feel like you're being torn here and there. And to be honest with you, men, sometimes you don't stand a chance because your spouse is going to lean towards her children.
Every time.
It's not every time. That is not true. But because
I'm just kidding.
I know, men, you feel like that because in your mind you're thinking, this is right because they're children, and you and your spouse are the adults, and y'all are supposed to have it a certain way, which Christopher has found out as well. It doesn't always work that way because here's the reality. Your children have feelings. Your children have a spirit that you can break.
Yeah, and you don't ever want to break your child's spirit. Coming in at whatever age. I mean, even a child that's 15 or 16, the things that you do can affect them and cause them to just really withdraw into themselves, withdraw out of life, and you're not there. You're not there to do that to them, and your intention isn't to do that, but your actions are not lining up with your intentions. So again, you have to be self-aware about your actions. Your intentions may be to do something else, but if your actions are saying something else to your child, you're causing them conflict. You're not helping them, and you're not helping them to be the best person that they can be. And I failed in a lot of areas with this, and it's taken me a good while to recognize this. And like I said, I've apologized to my family, and I'm trying to do better. And I want to encourage you to not do the things that I did. If you're new to being a step parent, learn from this. Learn
to listen.
Yeah.
I'm so serious because the children have a voice, and they may say the dumbest things, but as they're speaking to you, ask God for wisdom on how to respond. Because in our carnal flesh, we're going to say something that's just going to destroy however they feel. And I was watching a clip the other day And this gentleman was saying, because he was saying something about how his daughter has what he would call a TT that she loved, and it was like a blanket or something, and she would suck her thumb. And to him, the blanket didn't mean, to him at first, the blanket didn't mean much, but because the little girl fell in love with the blanket, it meant everything to him because he was her father. So one day they were walking in the mall, and this is something that she really could not even function without if she didn't have the TT. So he's walking around the mall and he looked at her and he was like, the TT, where's the TT? And he turned and he looked and saw that it was way, way back there where somebody was getting ready to walk over and step over it.
And this ends part 1 of the discussion on step parents with Radiant Fire and Daughters of the King. We hope you have a blessed and prosperous afternoon. We are committed to excellence and truth. We're committed to bringing the whole gospel to you as we go forth in this endeavor in this hour. We pray that God would be with you, His prophetic mantle and His prophetic anointing would be upon your life. Please feel free to contact us at any time with questions, comments, or concerns. You can reach us at Christopher@radiantfire.org. Like us on Facebook, Radiant Fire Radio Ministries, and you can subscribe to our YouTube page, Radiant Fire Radio Ministries, on YouTube.